Hey guys, welcome to Whisky Wise with me, Jason, bringing you whiskey review number 9. We're going to be reviewing the Aberfeldy 18-year-old, which we have just to my left. And as you can see, I probably poured myself a dram just a few seconds ago, but the camera cut out, so I'm going to do a pour a little bit more just to top it up, and we'll get started with the review. So, Aberfeldy 18, this one is one that you can only pick up in travel retail. So if you're wondering, where is the Aberfeldy from? Pick this one up in the airports. Well, this is one you'll see there mainly. Now, you can also pick it up, I think, on two websites. One being Amazon, where it's sold from the Aberfeldy distillery, and the other is Master of Malts. Now, I'm going to quickly show you guys what I do is I normally review my whiskies. I write it up a little bit like that. But in this scenario, I actually haven't had a chance to review it yet before doing this video because my dad's friend came over, and you can see probably quite a considerable amount of the bottle is gone, and he's a big fan of Aberfeldy. I thought it'd be nice, as I haven't opened all the bottles I brought back from my trip, so I decided to let him have a little dram, and that little dram turned into a third of my bottle. So I decided, let's get started with these reviews. I've actually got a couple other travel retail whiskies in the bags around me, and we're going to get started doing these whiskey reviews as much as I can because I have been ill for around about 2 weeks, and then I didn't have time, so let's get started with the review. Now, the Aberfeldy 18, this one is an 18-year-old whiskey in my review style. It is bottled at 40% ABV, so it is chill filtered, and the subject of colour I'll get to a little bit later down the line. In terms of the casks they use, they actually specify on the bottle. Over here, it says here, it's been aged in oak casks to enrich and intensify its flavours. And then it goes with the notes, but we're not going to read the notes because we're going to find our own notes. In terms of the distillery, it is the Aberfeldy distillery, and in terms of the company that owns it, it is the Bacardi company. So they own also Glendevron, Craigellachie, and Altamore, and I think I've reviewed all the Altamores already and the Glendevrons, except for, well, Craigellachie I need to do. So I'm going to work on the Aberfeldy 18 now, and in terms of the region in where it's from, it is from Scotland, and it is from the Highlands. So that's exactly whereabouts it's from. In terms of the price as well, I paid for this bottle. I paid $79.99 off the top of my head. I think it was around about £80 for the litre bottle, which is absolutely excellent in my opinion because you're getting a litre bottle, and everything nowadays that's sort of 18 years and above, you're finding in 70cl bottles, and Aberfeldy have kept theirs in a 1 litre bottle, which I think is absolutely superb. Now, in terms of exclusivity, again, you mainly only find this one in travel retail. I picked this one up in Heathrow, and if you're in Heathrow, you can actually taste this one before buying it. So anyone who's flying for Heathrow, give that one a taste if you're inquisitive or you want to try it out and see exactly what you think. And also it does have colouring, as I mentioned before, not 100%. It doesn't specify on the bottle about caramel colour, so more swaying towards natural colour, but there's an argument as all the bottles do look the same. So in terms of the actual colour of the whiskey, and you can see I've got quite a big sized dram over there. Is it going to focus? There we go. It is a very nice rich amber, and I'd say it's a very nice gold as well. So I'm going to say rich amber, I'd say a medium body of gold. It's really, really nice. And this one, actually, what they do, they call Aberfeldy the golden dram, and that's because I believe the spring, or the water the source of the water, they actually found gold, if I actually remember that correctly. Over there, Descendants, it's known as the golden dram. Traces of gold making it, traces of gold in the water. I knew I read it somewhere correctly. So, anyway, let's get started. So the colour is a nice gold, a little bit of an amber going on there. It's a beautiful colour to the whiskey. Now, onto the nose. Let's get assessing the nose. So straight away onto the nose, you're picking out dry fruits, and the dry fruits I'm picking out here are more or less not those ones like figs, prunes, dates. This is completely a bit lighter. This is more towards sultanas, towards ripe apples that are just being dried and made into those apples dried circles. I can't remember. I know when I go to the health shops, I always pick up those dry fruits, and that's one that it reminds me of straight away. Also, a little bit of apricots. It's got a little bit of a sweetness over there. Still got that very nice honeyed notes, and that's one thing very consistent with all the Aberfeldys, from the 12 to 21. And even in between the 16 and 18, it does have a beautiful, nice honeyed nose. And that's something that I think will also be in the palate. But it's also got a bit of spice which is playing itself. Very well known in the spice here, and this is a sweet spice. It's actually, the way I'm actually going to describe this might sound rather interesting, but if you ever get honey and you sprinkle a little bit of cinnamon over it and mix it all together and you have like a spoon of that, because normally that's what I do when I'm ill, gives you that little bit of mouth-warming feeling with the spice and then the sweetness just to make sure it goes down well. That's sort of what I'm getting in the nose. That's what it reminds me of. This could be something very good if you're not feeling too well. It's a beautiful, beautiful nose. This is a nose that also reminds me of milk, light milk, well, I say milk chocolate raisins. It's just something, you know, when you open the milk packet of milk chocolate raisins, you just got that smell, nice sweetness. It's gorgeous. And a little bit of a citrus note there. It's ever so faint. And that, I'd say, feels like a lime. So what we're going to do is get into the palate straight away, assess the whiskey. So instantly, straight away, this one is so delicate and mellow. When it goes on the palate, you don't get the burn of the alcohol. It is bottled at 40%. Probably would like it to be a bit stronger, but for those of you who don't like the powerful, complex whiskey, this one is so gentle. It goes on there, it's got a medium body, so I'd say a medium to full. First thing you pick up is that sweet spice. It's there straight away, it's greeting you on the start. A little bit of sweetness, a hint of spice, and a little bit of maltiness. Now, this sort of makes your mouth a little bit more watery, and that's why I'm going to go for a second sip, see exactly what I pick out on the second sip. There, it's making your mouth water, so it's very difficult to speak, but mouth watering. You get the apple, and this is like the very ripe apples just as you're about to sort of cut them up and prepare them for drying. It's very, very mouth-filling. You do get the honey note again. It's sort of very consistent throughout the whole part of the palate. It doesn't sort of just start at the beginning and finish. This thing stays consistent. The spice is still there, but it turns a little bit nutty and sort of reminds me of maybe almonds, sort of inside of almonds and maybe a bit of nutmeg. It's got a little bit of warmth to it. So it's a really nice dimension of spice in this whiskey. Now, in terms of the finish, we're going to assess the finish. I'm not going to take these reviews too long because I want to keep them fairly within 10 minutes or so. So, okay, interesting. But this one, it does have, I'd say it's a full body. And when I say full body, the finish is quite long. This one, you get that nuttiness playing more on the end than in the beginning, or in the palate. You still get the honey note, the spice, the nuttiness. It sort of gives you a little bit of a gingery warmth to it, and it gives you that really nice feeling. Still very easygoing whiskey. It's so mellow. Still no bite in the alcohol. I'd probably, in terms of that, I'd say that sort of summarizes the finish. It's very, very simple. It's not over complex, and the overall comments on this whiskey, it is not a complex whiskey whatsoever. It does have that dimension of spice, but with that little bit of honey notes and very light sort of dried fruits. It's not very heavy, so it is very easy going. Overall opinion on this whiskey, I'm actually really captivated by the nose and the palate of this whiskey, and also how easy it is to drink this whiskey. It's very, very simple. For someone who's maybe not such a big whiskey drinker, you'll find this amazing as an everyday whiskey. I wish I could pick this one up all the time, and that's probably something I'm going to try working towards in the future. Probably pick up another bottle when I do travel again, just in case, because I don't know when my dad's friend might finish this one off. But overall, I probably would like the ABV to be a bit higher, just to get more of the raw flavors, because for me I like the very rich sort of texture and a bit more of the profile, but it is also a little bit oily, so that's where the finish does prolong itself a bit more longer. But overall, yeah, I'm going to give the whiskey an actual rating, and I've got my rating cards out here, but I'm going to go with this, because I've tried the 12, tried the 16, and I've tried the 21. And in my opinion, this one stands head and shoulders over them. So hopefully you can see that. God, review cards these days. So I'm going to give it a 92 out of 100. And this is something that I think that if you go through an airport, please do give it a try. If you're at Heathrow, do give this one a sample and let me know what you think down below in the comment section if you have tried it. If you tried the 21, personally, I like this one a lot more. And I've tried all of them. So do let me know what you think down below in the comment section. I'm going to wrap the review up there. Hopefully you have enjoyed the video. By all means, please drop it a like. Feel free to subscribe. This has been Jason from Whisky Wise, and I'll catch you all for the next video.